your home for everything Badgers. This is 1310 WIBA Madison, an iHeart radio station. Talking Golf at TPC Wisconsin is on the air. Talking Golf is brought to you by American Family Insurance, Oak Park Place, Wild Rock Golf Club, Zimbrick European. Also, University Ridge Golf Course, Ridge Top Exteriors, Wisconsin.Golf, Cleary Building Corp, and Nevada Bobs. Now from the new home of TPC Wisconsin in Madison, here are the hosts of Talking Golf. Member of the Wisconsin-Golf Hall of Fame, the legendary Dennis Tiziani, longtime Madison sportscaster Paul Braun, and Wisconsin sports veteran and statewide radio host Mike Heller.
And we welcome you into TPC Wisconsin on Madison's north side. I'm Mike Heller, Paul Brown to my right. Dennis Tiziani is here, our producer-engineer Dave McCann, and Dave Gasper back at our studios at 1310 WIBA in Madison. It's AmFam Championship week, and last week we talked with all of the Strickers except for Nikki. Now, we gave the entire Stricker family the night off tonight because they're playing golf. They got a little family challenge going on at the AmFam Championship at University Ridge, and Steve's coming off, Dennis, another good performance over the weekend. I think he would have liked to have made another putt or two.
He wasn't happy.
Yeah, I'm sure he wasn't.
He wasn't
well,
happy,
perfectionists don't like being less than perfect.
Right.
Dennis, let me ask you about that. You said he wasn't happy. He looked that way. What, in that kind of a situation, what's the read of what you think was going on there?
Well, you know, he didn't make any putt. Something wasn't right there. He was struggling with it, whether he has what he's looking forward to the next 3 weeks where he's got to play that much, you know. And the clovers are growing over here, you know, for the deer, so he's worried about that.
Well,
I give him a hard
priorities.
time about that. But he wasn't, there was no way that he should have got beat there, but it happened. And I said, you know, we were saving it for here. You know, I said, you've never won this tournament here.
Oh, you reminded him.
Oh, yeah.
That was
So,
nice of you.
because he didn't, you know, he gives you that little half smile, kind of like, you know, like you don't know what the hell you're talking about. But he'll do good. And I think he's got a little bit of a mindset for that tournament up at
Century
World,
yeah. 3 weeks from
Yeah,
now.
he
the
does.
U.S. Senior Open. Dennis, let's talk a little bit about this week. Let me help set up the show. We're going to visit with Gary D'Amato of Wisconsin.Golf. He'll join us in our next segment. I know that's your favorite segment of the show, Dennis.
Yeah, wow.
So we'll have that, and then we'll talk with Andy North, two-time
That's a
U.S.
big
Open
deal,
champion. Andy is going to, again, be the host celebrity in the Celebrity Foursome that goes out Saturday that includes a pretty good group, including Zach Johnson, the Ryder Cup captain, and Michael Phelps, who's a pretty good swimmer, and Derek Jeter. So that'll be fun. We're going to talk with Andy North in the show. Travis Becker will join us, Director of Golf, here about our instruction segment. And in between that, we'll visit with Nate Pokras. And Nate's got a busy week. So
yeah, he does.
This tournament, when
he does a good job.
yeah,
this
doesn't
guy.
he?
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
he was out here looking around with you a week ago on the holiday, and we're going to transition that tournament here in 2 years. But Nate, everybody I talked to outside of the working elements of that tournament, players, visitors have come in, talk about how incredibly well run it is. AmFam's done a great job, but if Nate doesn't put together the team and do the work he does, my goodness.
He is. He's very good. And he inspects what he expects. That's what I like about it. He was here looking at this, looking at that. His eyes are going. I'm talking. He's not listening. You know, I mean, he's doing his own thing. But if it wasn't for AmFam, I don't know whether this tournament would have the pizzazz that it does, because they are really into it.
AmFam and Steve, that combination made the tournament special.
I'll tell you what, in the field it's pretty darn strong.
Yeah,
There's 78 players, but you've got 7 players with multiple PGA Tour champion wins since 2022. You've got 5 members of the World Golf Hall of Fame in couples, Goosen, Love, the third, Montgomery, and Singh. You got 5 former #1 players in the world, couples, Duval, Els, Tom Lehman, and Vijay Singh. 15 winners of the Masters, the U.S. Open, the Open Championship, and the PGA. That's the kind of field you got here.
Got a
really well represented, and for the first time, Justin Leonard will be here, and so will Stephen Elker.
You got one great caddy who's going to be in there caddying for
Who's that, Mike Heller?
Oh,
No, forget him.
Who are we talking about?
Caddying for you
Freddie
just
Couples?
mentioned him. Yeah, caddying for Fred Couples. Who's caddying for him?
Bobby.
Bobby's caddying for Fred Couples.
No kidding.
She's excited about it. And I'm going to tell you a little story. He texted her every day that she was playing in that Epson event.
Oh, did he?
What kind of a guy? He likes Izzy and Bobby, but he texted her every day. How about that?
In that most recent tournament, Bobby finished tied for 58th and won $786.
I know.
On the Epson tour.
I asked her, you were going to borrow money to Grandpa. Grandpa needs the money. Grandpa, she says, I didn't make enough money to pay for the airplane ticket. I thought I'd die laughing.
It's so much fun to watch. And
yeah.
I imagine that personally, not to dive into the depth here with you, Dennis, but what a great thrill it is for you to watch your grandkids do what they're doing in a game that you've had so much success in on the course and professionally.
What's really good, what I see, how in the instruction process, everything, it's dad first, grandpa second. Mm-hmm. That they aren't going past him. They're going to be with him, and it's great. And mom's involved. She knows, what's going on. And she knows the feeling that how hard it is when the dad is teaching a daughter. It's tough to do. Yeah. It's tough on the dad, tough on the daughter. And they got it. They get it. And they're both going to be, but they're both going to meet. There's going to be some real success with those two players.
And your son, Mario. As busy as he's been over the years, and now he's on the Champions Tour.
Yeah, he's on her, and he's doing good. I got up this morning. I was up by maybe 6:05, something like that, and he was up for 2 hours already, 4 o'clock. He was up doing his thing, into his computer, gets his stuff out of the way, and he gets done, and he's back on it again. He's got a lot of players that supposedly, and Steve told me this, and I'm not just telling you this just because, but he is by far the best agent out there on the tour. How about that?
Yeah.
What would make a good agent on the tour?
Well, he's very much into the player. I mean, he's kind of picky on who he gets to represent. I listened to some of those things on talking to college players, players on the secondary tour. But he's picky. But he really represents them. He's all in for them. It's all about them, not about him, which is really good.
Well, and I think that the balance that he has to play at the level he's playing at, Mario, I'm talking about, and to do that other work that he's doing, and yet, it's not easy. These guys are great.
Oh, they really are. They're good players, and so is he. I mean, from tee to green, I don't know too many players that I've watched that hits the ball better. On the green, it's different, but that's called playing. That's how you. How you handle, being comfortable, being uncomfortable, how you handle rejection, and all this sort of stuff. When you're anal, like these guys like to line everything up, you got to kind of forget about it, you got to move on to the next shot. Can't be like you, Grandpa. Can't be like you. I said, I know.
You ready to talk to Gary D'Amato?
Oh, boy, this ought to be good. Is he on?
We got to take a break, and then we'll have Gary on.
Yeah, what does he do? I mean, he does. What the hell does he do?
Why don't you ask him?
I'm going to ask him
today.
That'll
be the first question out of the.
What do you do?
We'll find out after this time out. This is Talking Golf on TPC Wisconsin.
That's fun.
Watch PGA Tour champions, including tournament host and Wisconsin native Steve Stricker, at the American Family Insurance Championship when it returns to the University Ridge Golf Course Friday, June 9th through Sunday, June 11th. Proceeds will support the Steve Stricker American Family Insurance Foundation and the American Family Children's Hospital. Get your tickets today at amfamchampionship.com. That's amfamchampionship.com. Friday, June 9th through Sunday, June 11th.
Hi, I'm Sean Cleary. Whether you're looking for your first Cleary building or your fourth, your happiness is still priority one. The Cleary experience is about making your building process exciting and stress-free. Contact Cleary today to set up a free consultation and let your Cleary specialist design the building of your dreams with our DreamMaker 3D software. Experience ClearyBuilding.com today.
Cleary built with pride.
Gary D'Amato is ready, and he wanted to mention that John Daly had to pull out of some
Oak Park
tournament.
Place is a proud sponsor of the
Kelly.
Golf Effect radio show. While golfers need peace of mind to succeed on the course, Oak Park Place offers seniors and their loved ones peace of mind by providing the right balance of care centered around an active lifestyle. Hi, this is Pat Richter for Oak Park Place. Choose a senior living community with neighbors that become like family. Oak Park Place Senior Living. Locations throughout Wisconsin. Visit oakparkplace.com to learn more.
It's time to lock in your tee time at University Ridge Golf Course. Now taking reservations up to 90 days in advance for the 2023 golf season. Book at universityridge.com. Proud host of the American Family Insurance Championship, University Ridge is a course for everyone with tees ranging from 5,000 to 7,200 yards. Even if you don't have time to play, stop out and play on the free putting course or pay $20 to hit practice balls for an hour on our grass tee practice range. Play where the Badgers and the pros play in 2023.
When it comes to golf, being the best takes years of hard work, focus, and love of the game. It's no different for Ridgetop Exteriors. For over 20 years, transferring our neighbors' homes with new roofs, siding, and windows has been par for the course, and we've mastered our craft. For a free estimate, go to ridgetopexteriors.com. Affordable roofing, siding, and windows, plus award-winning customer service. Get your estimate today at ridgetopexteriors.com and let them know Ridgetop Larry sent you.
Looking for new equipment? TPC Wisconsin has a team of certified fitters that have been ranked top 100 club fitters by Golf Digest, Titleist, Ping, and Mizuno. TPC Wisconsin fitters use science, art, technology, and ball flight to determine the best equipment for your swing. To schedule your private fitting experience, contact Dylan Parisi at 608-249-1000. Learn from the best. Get better. Only at TPC Wisconsin.
I'm Mike Heller, Paul Braun, Dennis Tiziani with us, Gary D'Amato.
How come you're talking so
well,
much?
Because there's a dental
issue. I was
issue.
at the dental.
Oh, I was wondering, what the hell's he talking all the time for? Why aren't you talking? We're paying you the big bucks to be here.
You
listen,
are?
I'd be.
You are, he says.
There must be a check or two missing.
Check the account. Gary D'Amato, he is the president of the National Golf Writers Association of America. Gary D'Amato is on the line with us.
Now, you want to turn
I'm
over
gonna, I'm going to defer, Gary, and I apologize for this in advance, but I'm going to defer to Dennis Tiziani for the first question.
Uh-oh.
Say,
here we go.
I was wondering, what do you really do? what do you do?
That's a very good question.
Do you have a calling card with the word president on it? No?
I work my butt off. You know, we have 700 golf players in our organization, and I'm going to the U.S. Open in a week to run a board meeting, which should be a lot of fun.
Here we go.
Yeah. It's an honor, though. It really is to lead this organization.
Where were you today? There's a story behind where you are today, too, isn't there?
Yeah, I was at Geneva National. They had this exhibition to raise money for military veterans groups, and it was called Beauty and the Beast, and it was supposed to be John Daly and Paige Spiranac. But Daly didn't show up. I guess he's got some sciatica or something, and Madison's own Jerry Kelly filled in for him and made 10 birdies and 2 eagles. How do you like that in an 18-hole round? He was on fire. It was a lot of fun. About 2,000 people came out to watch this. It was pretty good.
Who played?
Paige Spiranac and Jerry Kelly.
Well, he's playing really good.
Yeah.
But he is a good player. You know, he's one of the better short games ever to play on the PGA Tour. He is.
Yeah, well, I don't disagree.
He's really good. Yeah,
at all. And he's had a little success at the tournament that's going on this week. Gary, it's a heavy run right now with the AmFam Championship and then the U.S. Open and then the U.S. Senior Open back here at Century World. You bring in the reinforcements with Wisconsin.Golf. I know you got Rob Hernandez here, state tournaments going on. This is a busy run.
It's one of the busiest summers I've ever had, but also one of the most fun summers, especially with the Senior Open, coming to Century World and AmFam this week and U.S. Open. It's a lot of work, but hey, I'm on a golf course every day, so I shouldn't complain, right?
Yeah. Heavy on that work.
Yeah.
Gary, I got a question for you from the standpoint of you've covered golf for 40 years or more than that. I want to talk about Steve for a couple of minutes in terms of overall what you've covered in golf. Here you got a guy that's a 2-time comeback player of the year. He's a winner of about 26 events. including 14 on the Champions Tour, captain of the record-setting Ryder Cup. When you look at his entire career in relation to people that you covered in golf, what do you sometimes reflect and think about what Steve has done?
Well, it's amazing. And I always tell people, I've known Steve since he was maybe 18 years old. And the first thing I say about him is that he hasn't changed one bit all these years, and all the money he's won and all the accolades and honors. He's the same person. So I think first and foremost, that's most important. But as far as his career, he went through the slump that everyone knows about for those few years where he had a hard time hitting the fairway. But he came out of it, a much better player than he ever was before that. And now, I know they're playing 6,400, 6,700 yard course, whatever they are, 6,700, 6,800. It's not 7,400 like they do on the PGA Tour, but he is playing some of the best golf of his career. He's been unbelievably consistent. I mean, you put a wedge in that guy's hand, and it's going to be a 6-footer for birdie. So he's just on an incredible run right now, historic.
When we take it a step further, there are prerequisites to be in the Golf Hall of Fame. We're going to have this debate at some length down the road, but let me just get a prerequisite view from you. Does he belong in the Hall, and does that restriction need to be removed for having to have won a major on the PGA Tour?
Yeah, I think so. And the reason I say that is, before Steve came along, every Ryder Cup captain, there was this unwritten rule that you had to have won a major. Well, Steve was the first Ryder Cup captain who had not won a major on the PGA Tour. And look what he did when he took over the Ryder Cup captaincy. I mean, he pushed every right button and had a record-setting, 19-9 victory with some straights for the U.S. So, he proved that you don't have to win a major to be a great Ryder Cup captain. And when you look at the balance of his career, I think every week that goes by just reinforces how great a player he is and gets him closer to the Hall of Fame. I know a lot of voters would insist upon having won a major, but when you look at what he's done in his career, I mean, stack it up against everybody, and he's right there. So I think you're right about that, Mike.
Gary, you're president of the Golf Writers Association of America. In a nutshell, a quick summary, what's the main function of that organization? What are some of the highlights of what you guys do?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Well, we're sort of, our organization represents golf writers, especially in relation to the tours. And it seems like, every year or every couple of years, it's harder to get access to players, right? They have teams around them, they have agents. And so we are always pushing for, better access to players, better access to, to media operations and that sort of thing. And then we also have an annual dinner just the night before the Masters starts, where we pick players of the year, and we name some major award winners. And this year, in fact, Steve Stricker won our Ben Hogan Award for his comeback from his illness. And so, it's a proud organization that's been around for a long time, and some of the best golf writers who have ever lived have been members of our organization. So I'm proud to be a member.
Gary, I know you didn't cover the tournament directly, but can you give some perspective on what Rose Zhang is accomplishing? Just won an NCAA tournament 13 days ago, won her first ever LPGA professional event yesterday, and what she brings to the table is a once-in-a-generation, at least out of the gates, kind of a look.
Amazing. I mean, she's going to do things, I think, for the LPGA Tour to elevate it and get more attention on that tour. She's had an, unprecedented run as an amateur. She won everything, NCAA twice. She won things that Tiger Woods never won. And she obviously wasn't scared teeing it up for the first time with the best players in the world, best female players in the world, and went out and won. I think she's going to bring a lot of eyes to that tour, especially being an American. Nothing against foreign players who have, sort of dominated over the years, but I like the fact that she's, from the U.S., an American, and is going to, I think, play exceptional golf on that tour, and that should help, raise the tour and elevate it a little bit.
Well, for people throughout the state of Wisconsin, if you want to follow golf in the state and beyond, there's one key place to get it in terms of the latest news, be it the tournaments, be it coverage of the PGA Tour. It's Wisconsin.Golf with Rob Hernandez and Gary D'Amato, who will be at the AmFam tournament, and they'll cover every angle of that. So I think we answered Tiz's question, didn't we?
Yeah, he's doing. He's busy.
Yeah, he's on. He's pretty.
Well, there's people. My phone blows up, every time we get on this thing. I don't know what the hell's the matter. Just listen to what I'm saying about. Why do I have to draw a picture all the time? Some of these things are crazy, but it's all right.
Gary, we're going to let you go. I think this is a good time for a break. Thanks. You're listening to Talking Golf on TPC Wisconsin.
A new year, and maybe it's time for new equipment. If yes, Nevada Bob's is the place to go. Jeff and Max are the fittest fitters around, and they can set you up from driver to putter and everything in between. And anything else golf-related, wheel and deal with Joel.
Your game, your store, always at the best price.
Watch PGA Tour champions, including tournament host and Wisconsin native Steve Stricker, at the American Family Insurance Championship when it returns to the University Ridge Golf Course Friday, June 9th through Sunday, June 11th. Proceeds will support the Steve Stricker American Family Insurance Foundation and the American Family Children's Hospital. Get your tickets today at amfamchampionship.com. That's amfamchampionship.com. Friday, June 9th through Sunday, June 11th.
When you're looking for an amazing golf experience, look no further than Wild Rock Golf Club in the Wisconsin Dells.
Andy
This
North
stunning
is ready.
championship course offers unforgettable views from elevated tee boxes with greens that roll fast and true. Cut from the natural beauty of the Dells, Wild Rock is truly a sight to behold. Secluded and sheltered from the outside world, Wild Rock is a unique gem that offers challenges for all skill levels. Enjoy the Wild Rock experience. Do yourself a favor by booking your tee time online today at wildrockgolf.com. That's wildrockgolf.com.
Oak Park Place is a proud sponsor of the Golf Effect radio show. While golfers need peace of mind to succeed on the course, Oak Park Place offers seniors and their loved ones peace of mind by providing the right balance of care centered around an active lifestyle. Hi, this is Pat Richter for Oak Park Place. Choose a senior living community with neighbors that become like family. Oak Park Place Senior Living. Locations throughout Wisconsin. Visit oakparkplace.com to learn more.
This is Gary D'Amato, senior writer for Killarney Golf Media and Wisconsin.Golf. Visit Wisconsin.Golf for the latest in golf news and feature stories about people, places, and tournaments in our state. And listen to Talking Golf on TPC Wisconsin to hear me spar with Dennis Tiziani. Wisconsin.Golf and Talking Golf. On the internet and on your radio dial, the voices of golf in Wisconsin.
Why drive an ordinary car when for the same monthly payment you could be driving something extraordinary? Aaron Perkins, General Manager, Zimbrick European. Imagine yourself behind the wheel of a Mercedes-Benz, Audi, or Porsche. More safety, performance, and luxury, and way more fun. And getting more costs less than you think. Zimbrick European makes leasing affordable. Discover the value for yourself. Stop in and test drive a Mercedes-Benz, Audi, or Porsche today. Visit Zimbrick European and find out why leasing the car of your dreams makes so much sense.
Your golf game need a pick-me-up? It's one-stop shopping only at Nevada Bob's. Joel and his crew can equip you, dress you, teach you, and here's the best part. New or used, clubs, shoes, bags, carts, apparel, balls, you name it, and they got it. Isn't that right, Joel?
Your game, your store, always at the best price.
Back with you at TPC Wisconsin. Mike Heller, Paul Brown, Dennis Tiziani with you. Is it okay that I'm introing the segment, Dennis?
It's all right. You're doing okay.
I should have asked in advance to make sure he was okay with this. Two-time U.S. Open champion Andy North is on the line with us. Andy, I want to say thank you for jumping on and spending a few minutes with us. It's kind of a fun week that we're starting off tonight.
Yeah, this is an awesome week for golfers in Madison, and it looks like for the first time forever we're going to have a dry Wednesday and Thursday for the Pro-Ams.
Yeah, for the Pro-Ams.
That all makes it a nice week. The golf course is going to be firm and fast, and probably a lot of fun.
Yeah, I want to talk about Saturday because you've been front and center on this Celebrity Foursome that goes on the back nine Saturday afternoon since its inception. And Steve played in that first one, and the likes of Jack Nicklaus and Toby Keith and Brett Favre. It's been fantastic. Michael Phelps is in it this year. Zach Johnson, the Ryder Cup captain, is in it. Derek Jeter is back, and you're there again. This has really turned into, right from the very beginning, it's been special, hasn't it?
It really has. There's been a few tournaments that have tried this over the years, and it really adds a lot to the tournament. It gets some guys there that maybe the fans don't get a chance to watch very often. and it's a lot of fun. And you look at the galleries that we get every year; it's absolutely awesome. So, Madison's turned out they bought in on not only our event but the whole tournament, and it's going to be a fun week.
Who's partners in that event?
Yeah,
between
who
you
gets
guys?
to decide
How's that going to work?
Well, I was going to say I think Zach and I should play the other guys, but that's not how it worked out. I believe I'm going to be with Michael, and Zach's going to have Derek, and we got to be the underdogs. The way Derek played last year, he was amazing, and obviously Jack is still this child we're playing against.
Yeah, right. How much fun is all of this? What we get. Century World's going to be the center of the Champions Tour universe a couple of weeks down the road. The U.S. Open is in between that on the traditional tour this week. Two of those three events right here. What Wisconsin has done for golf, including what they're going to do at Century World later this month, is spectacular.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, we've always had great golf in this state. I mean, going back 100 years. I mean, I remember as a kid, excited to get in the car on a Saturday morning and drive up to Lawsonia and play something that was so different than anything else. But we've had great golf. It's been very affordable, and when Herb really worked hard to try to get that first PGA there, that was a really big deal, and it really changed what people thought about the state and the golfers in our state, and the fact that every one of these events have been supported unbelievably. So the organizations want to keep coming back.
When you talk about golfing in the state, how about golfers in Madison? When you look back at the history, you can talk about like Sherry Steinhauer. You can talk about Jerry Kelly. You can talk about Andy, 2 U.S. Open titles. You can talk about Steve. That's pretty unique to have that type of quality of people all in one city, isn't it?
Well, I think the fact that it's north of the Mason-Dixon line probably adds more to that. That you don't have 12 months of good weather. I think so often growing up, I had a lot of guys I really looked up to, from Manuel Lidatore to Steve Bull to Lee Milligan, Alan Mitchell, guys here in town that were fantastic with the kids. And, they gave you a sense that you could do this. And I think that's been, it's gone forward. There's a ton of kids now that are watching Jerry and Steve, and they get all excited and think that, hey, I can do that. And I think as long as you have some people out there, ahead of you that can do it, that really makes a big difference.
Andy, you've been following golf for many, many years and had a lot of success with it, and now on television and that type of thing. And we were talking about this a little earlier. As you look at the sport and individuals that have played the game and that kind of thing, and we talk about Steve, and you look at his overall career, what he went through, and then twice being the comeback player of the year, and all of the tournaments that he's won on the Champions Tour, and the 26 wins overall, and captain of the best Ryder Cup team and that kind of thing. From a player's perspective, when you look at that, what do you think about what Steve has accomplished?
Oh, it's been fantastic. I take an awful lot of pride that he's like one of my kids. You've watched him grow up in the golf world from the time he was 12 or 13 years old. That's really fun, and you see how he's grown as a player. You see how he's grown and his understanding of himself and what he needed to do to come from the depths of what he went through to get back to where he was, and to how hard he's worked to do it. And you take a lot of pride in seeing him have success, and it's not only great for obviously Steve and his family, but also so many other people who care about him and pay close attention to the golf that he does play.
Andy, from a world of golf standpoint, the conversation when you're not talking about a specific player or tournament, the last 2 years is centered around the PGA and LIV. What's the next step in that, and how do you think that the evolution has happened so far?
God, we could talk for 6 weeks
I know.
on that.
Yeah.
I think, first of all, if you look at the really big picture, it's probably been very, very good for our players. What the tour's been doing to change the way they're doing some things, and the amount of money that's coming in the tour the last 2 years has been fantastic for these guys. I'm not a big fan of how it's happened. I'm not a big fan of what they've done. For a player who spent 50 years as a member of the PGA, you hate to see work that you thought you did to help this tour get to where it did, and all of a sudden people turn their back on it. I haven't particularly liked that. But at the same time, we're independent businessmen. If you got a chance to do a golf show tomorrow on a different network that you can make twice as much money, you guys would dive at it. That's the way it is. But you can't have it both ways. If you make a decision to go to a different company and work, you can't come back and work one day a week at the place you just worked.
Yeah.
So I think that's basically where we are right now, and I don't see that that's going to change much in the near future.
Andy, on the golf course, what's the next significant challenge? We talked about this on this show a couple of weeks ago with the limited flight golf ball or other things. What's the next challenge that everybody will have to face?
Yeah, I've been very fortunate. The last 12 years, I've been on the Captain's Club of Memorial, which is like Jack's board of directors, and we have this year we had at the head of every organization in the room during our meeting. We grilled them over the ball. We talked about clubs. We talked about spin. We talked about a lot of things. I think that I don't quite understand. They're telling us that the average guy wants to play the equipment that the tour player is playing. Well, first of all, you can't get some of the stuff the tour players are playing. Second of all, you don't want to be playing the same golf ball these guys are playing because you can't make it go anywhere. I mean, for the average guy with a 90-mile-an-hour swing speed, he can take a round rock and paint it white and go out and use it. It won't make much difference because they can't make the ball go. They can't swing fast enough to make the ball really go and get the benefit of all this equipment. So, there's a lot of stuff going on. I think, if you're looking at big picture, you've got to figure out where does this whole live thing go? Is it something that's going to be around in 5 years? I don't know. Is it going to be around in 2 weeks? I don't know.
Yeah.
There's so many questions that way, but it still comes down to the bottom line is that we need to get more people in the game. We need to get more kids involved in the game. We need to create avenues for youngsters to become good players. The United States is one of the very few countries that doesn't have like an organized organization that picks the best players and tries to make them into better players. The USGA is dipping their toe into that right now. That was we talked about last week, and they think they can do some things to help create a situation where we can get better young players.
Dennis, can you amplify or add anything to what Andy is saying here from your perspective of all the years of experience in golf and that type of thing?
I tend to agree with what he's talking about. What I really agree with is in our city, the support that Andy and Jerry, those two specifically, gave to the AmFam tournament. It was Steve's tournament, so it was very easy to maybe not get behind it, but these boys got behind it. That, to me, is a big item. And as far as getting players into the game, I think that if the PGA, WSGA did a real survey of how much is really going on in making players into the game, you'll find out that we're not that far behind in doing it. But I tend to, the big item for me was the support that this guy here, who happens to be, my opinion, and I've told him this before, probably one of the better golf broadcasters on the air today. That
Without a doubt.
He knows what the hell's going on. And I know that there's not two people I know about that have won 2 Opens. And he's right here in our backyard. Mm-hmm. And did you know that he was the club champion at Cherokee Country Club in 1968?
I'll bet you remember that one, Andy.
And he was he was the U.S. Open champion in 1978. So there's a history here.
So are you taking credit for his winning it in
No, I wasn't here in 68. I wasn't here. Been here right after that. But I give him a lot of credit at what he's doing. And I know that he has maybe a little bit of a different idea of some of the things that are going on, but because of his stature and where he is, he can't come on our radio and give us what he wants. But I'll bet you if he was here, he got a pretty good idea what the hell's going on.
You know what else he's good at?
What?
And we'll give him a chance if he wants to. He's also a hell of an analyst on Badger basketball.
Oh, yeah.
I've worked alongside with him for a few of those broadcasts over some years.
What's happening with that club?
And you wondered, what the heck are you doing? Right?
Lucky me is what I was thinking.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, Daniel Freitag, I know it's a verbal right now, but Greg Gart's
really a big
yeah,
get.
No kidding. Fantastic.
He might be, he's without doubt the best, probably 1, 2, or 3 player we've ever gotten here. From a ranking standpoint, he's in the top 75 players in the country. I mean, this guy is a stud.
And you know what I loved about it?
Huge get for Greg.
Yeah, you know what I loved about it, Andy, and then we'll let you go, is that Daniel Freitag, talking about why he came here, he made it a point that he came here because of his deep relationship with the head coach, Greg Gart. That's something, because everybody wants to talk about guys that you miss. Well, let's focus on this one.
Yeah.
Andy, thank you very much for your time.
Thanks, guys.
Okay,
Andy.
Andy.
It. You guys do a great job.
Thank you,
care.
Andy North.
I'll catch you later.
All right.
Bye-bye.
That's Andy North, and we'll be back on Talking Golf after this time out at TPC Wisconsin.
Watch PGA Tour champions, including tournament host and Wisconsin native Steve Stricker, at the American Family Insurance Championship when it returns to the University Ridge Golf Course Friday, June 9th through Sunday, June 11th. Proceeds will support the Steve Stricker American Family Insurance Foundation and the American Family Children's Hospital. Get your tickets today at amfamchampionship.com. That's amfamchampionship.com. Friday, June 9th through Sunday, June 11th.
TPC Wisconsin houses a world-class golf instruction, coaching, and club fitting experience. Golfers have year-round access to our award-winning coaches and club fitters, state-of-the-art technologies, and PGA Tour quality facilities. If you'd like to learn more about junior and women's golf, private instruction, group coaching, or business clinics, please contact Travis Becker at tbecker@tpcwisconsin.com. Learn from the best. Get better only at TPC Wisconsin.
When you're looking for an amazing golf experience, look no further than Wild Rock Golf Club in the Wisconsin Dells. This stunning championship course offers unforgettable views from elevated tee boxes with greens that roll fast and true. Cut from the natural beauty of the Dells, Wild Rock is truly a sight to behold. Secluded and sheltered from the outside world, Wild Rock is a unique gem that offers challenges for all skill levels. Enjoy the Wild Rock experience. Do yourself a favor by booking your tee time online today at wildrockgolf.com. That's wildrockgolf.com.
When it comes to golf, being the best takes years of hard
Nate
work,
is sending me to
focus,
voicemail.
and love of the game. It's no different for Ridgetop Exteriors. For over 20 years, transferring our
it
neighbors'
rang
homes
once
with
this
new
last
roof,
time and
siding,
then just went right to
windows has been
voicemail.
par for the course, and we've mastered our craft. For a free estimate, go to ridgetopexteriors.com. Affordable
But
roofing,
it rang
siding,
first,
and windows,
so I
plus
don't know if he's
award-winning
waiting on someone
customer
else's call or
service.
busy with
Get your
something, but
estimate
yeah,
today
he's
at
not picking up.
ridgetopexteriors.com and let them know Ridgetop Larry sent you.
Hold on a second, I think he's calling back.
Hey, neighbor. Nice mower.
Hey, Sean Cleary. Yep, we really love it. But it takes up so much space in the garage.
I think I can help with that.
Bill's home with his giant work truck that takes up the entire driveway.
You know I can help with that. We are here for every stage of your life. Head to
Okay, now Nate is
ClearyBuilding.com today.
So now he's ready.
Sean?
I can help with that.
This is Gary D'Amato, senior writer for Killarney Golf Media and Wisconsin.Golf. Visit Wisconsin.Golf for the latest in golf news and feature stories about people, places, and tournaments in our state. And listen to Talking Golf on TPC Wisconsin to hear me spar with Dennis Tiziani. Wisconsin.Golf and Talking Golf on the internet and on your radio dial, the voices of golf in Wisconsin.
Back again on Talking Golf at TPC Wisconsin. Mike Heller, Paul Brown, Dennis Tiziani with you on this Monday of the AmFam Championship Week. And the tournament director, Nate Pokras, we pried him away from what is, well, all the hard work is done now, right, Nate? I mean, all of the heavy lifting is out of the way, so you're just leaning back and not doing anything, right?
Right.
I wish that were the case. I'll say that the heavy lifting, all the build, the construction, that's
right.
Done. But ironically, I'm with the Stricker family right now, and we're having a little fun with the third annual Stricker Family Challenge. Steve and Nikki versus Bobby and Izzy. So,
can you give us an update?
Well, they're about to dial me into caddy. At least I was supposed to caddy for Steve, and now I'm on the phone. So I don't know, but they're teeing off. They're teeing off on 14. Nikki led off right down the middle. Now we have the great Izzy Stricker here.
Look at you!
All great stuff. It's a fun Monday night for sure.
You want to keep going, Nate? You might have a future in the broadcast game of calling the action. You know, we just had Andy North on; he could be your analyst.
Well, as the cheesy line is, I got a face for radio, so I guess we'll keep on that. I'll leave the TV for Andy, and I'll stay offline. There we go.
Nate, we won't keep you too long with this, but what a fantastic tournament that you have helped to shape and coordinate through the great folks at American Family and Steve's involvement, and it just keeps getting better. We just were talking to Andy about the Celebrity Foursome that goes out Saturday afternoon, but just all of the amenities and the way the tournament players have loved their experience with the AmFam Championship. That is a reward for what you do, isn't it?
You know, as you rewind back to 2016, certainly would never have expected what this has all turned into, and just humbled and honored to be a part of the team. We got a great team in place, and it takes over 100 operational partners to bring this all together. And here we are 7 years later. We got a outstanding field of PGA Tour champions, Fred Couples, Jim Furyk, Davis Love III, Ernie Els, and of course Madison's own Jerry Kelly and our tournament host Steve Stricker. And still got the Wisconsin connection and Skip and Mario Tiziani. It's just great. And what the community's done, the volunteers, the sponsors, it's been phenomenal. And I got Strick yelling at me now. I've already failed rule number one as a caddy. Keep up. So I already am not keeping up. So I'm on Talking Golf. So no, all good. This is great, and we're having an awesome week.
Good. You know, Nate, what Dennis would say about keeping up. Do you know what the other two are? Put up and.
Well,
I've
failed that already by talking on the phone. So,
that violates the shut up, and the put up one is in there too.
Nate, I wanted to ask you.
Luckily, they don't have a mic on. So this is good.
Nate, I wanted to ask you maybe one more here, and maybe it's a long form answer, but Jim Buheim was on here recently, and he mentioned the fact of what the outstanding job you and the staff do, and you learned a lot over the years with the development of the tournament at UW Ridge. You're going to have about a year to go through and do all of the planning here when it comes to TPC Wisconsin. What did you learn in that process? And just a quick summary of what are the key components and things you got to look at as you look ahead to 2025.
Yeah, we've certainly had an outstanding run here at University Ridge, and the course is in phenomenal shape this year, and we got one more great year ahead, and then we're equally as excited to start our next evolution over at TPC Wisconsin. And we need those 18 months because while we have a great basis in place, we've got to start over. But we look forward to that challenge, and we've got to wear it from everybody's hat: fans, sponsors, volunteers, the media, the players, the caddies. We're going to look at everybody from that lens and rebuild the tournament. We're excited for that challenge. We know it's going to be great. We're going to put on a great show for the fans in 2025, and we got 2 great years ahead to finish up at University Ridge. So we're looking forward to it. AmFam's given us a great support, and we know we're going to put together an outstanding tournament when we get over to TPC Wisconsin.
Nate, we're going to let you go so you can do your job because, I don't want Steve getting mad at us because you were on talking to us when he was trying to beat the other twosome out there in his family challenge. So go get it, Nate. We'll see you out at University Ridge later this week. Thanks for all you do and appreciate you spending time with us.
Yeah, I'm not certain I'm going to get tipped out on this one. I think I might lose my post-round tip. I've already failed step one, but we're having a blast. Thank you for everything you guys do. Look forward to the fans coming out. It's going to be a great week. This course is awesome. The build, 14, 15, 17, 18 is spectacular. Fans are going to love it, as you touched on Andy Norris Celebrity Group. Everybody's got to come out. It's going to be a great week.
Thank you, Nate.
Thanks, Nate. Take care.
Nate Pokras, the
Take care, guys.
tournament director, who's carrying the bag of Steve Stricker, and he violated all the rules, Dennis.
And he's left-handed.
That's a good thing.
Oh.
I knew he was a nice guy.
Yeah, he's left-handed.
He's a great guy.
You know, Nate talks about that. We talked about the transition in the previous couple of weeks here, Dennis. It's 2 years from now.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
But they begin that process of looking at the site on where grandstands are, the infrastructure, all those elements are already pre-planned and underway, and it's going to take a while.
Well, he was here 6 months ago.
Yeah.
You know, when it was snowing, we were doing it to see where the stands are going to go, where this is, how they should be, either parallel to or across from. But they were equally surprised on what's here when they got here.
Yeah.
I think that University Ridge is a great place to play. I knew the designer there, and we did some work with him up at Century World. But, you know, this is a tour course, you know, and we're going to have some of these guys coming out here this week. They want to see what's here. And I feel so good that we've got somebody like him and American Family behind us, because it's one of those things where it isn't going to fail, you know.
Right.
It's just going to be nothing but better. And the amenities that you're going to see here are a little bit different. So look forward to it.
Yeah, and for those, so we're at TPC Wisconsin, which is formerly Cherokee, and the tournament will be here in 2 years. Where is the golf course now? How you sitting, weather-wise, and all, and the you know?
We're scheduled to open August 1st. They said it'll be tour ready August 1st. And we're right on track for that. The holes that are on the north side of the course, 3, 4, 5, and 6 were the last ones to get done, but we put blankets on them way back in. You can't tell the difference. I mean, on the south part of the course, you could play that today. I mean, we lowered the cutting height on the greens, and I gave a lesson or two lessons actually on our putting green for putting. So the cutting height is the sand top dress. They rolled it. I mean, it's running at about 9.5, a little bit light, but as soon as we cut it down a little bit more and it gets firmer, it's pretty good. But it's wonderful, you know. Steve and he went around with me and he said, "Have you been out there?" And I said, "Yeah." Well, I'm out here. I went out on my bike, and then that bothers me. I think I told you this before, right? Every time he calls me, it's another $30,000. Fix this or fix that, and we got done. And he says, "You know, it's perfect out here."
Yeah.
I hung up the phone real quick
because
I got out of that deal right away. But it is really nice, and we're really happy about what's going on. You know, Bill Westrate has been out, and you know, it's really cool. The whole business about it, but it's a tournament course that happens to have a membership, different than a membership that happens to have a tournament.
Yeah.
Everything here is built around that. It's built like a tour course. You go all the way back, you can't play it. But it's got 4 to 6 tees, you know, that you'll pick the tee that you can play and enjoy it, because then it'll be fun. Get from 130 or 40 yards from the pin, and then you'll have fun on the greens and the green setting. Steve did a fabulous job, Steve Stricker, and Steve Wensloff, the designer, did a fantastic job. In fact, they'll be here this week. Wednesday, they'll be here checking it out.
You want me to come over?
Well, no, you can just stay there.
I'm staying out of that one.
I keep trying, Paul.
Do we need to take a break?
We do.
We're going to take a break. This is Talking Golf at TPC Wisconsin.
Your golf game need a pick-me-up? It's one-stop shopping only at Nevada Bob. Joel and his crew can equip you, dress you, teach you, and here's the best part. New or used, clubs, shoes, bags, carts, apparel, balls, you name it, and they got it. Isn't that right, Joel?
Your game, your store, always at the best price.
Watch PGA Tour champions, including tournament host and Wisconsin native Steve Stricker, at the American Family Insurance Championship when it returns to the University Ridge Golf Course Friday, June 9th through Sunday, June 11th. Proceeds will support the Steve Stricker American Family Insurance Foundation and the American Family Children's Hospital. Get your tickets today at amfamchampionship.com. That's amfamchampionship.com. Friday, June 9th through Sunday, June 11th.
Oak Park Place is a proud sponsor of the Golf Effect Radio Show. While golfers need peace of mind to succeed on the course, Oak Park Place offers seniors and their loved ones peace of mind by providing the right balance of care centered around an active lifestyle. Hi, this is Pat Richter for Oak Park Place. Choose a senior living community with neighbors that become like family. Oak Park Place Senior Living. Locations throughout Wisconsin. Visit oakparkplace.com to learn more.
Why drive an ordinary car when for the same monthly payment you could be driving something extraordinary? Aaron Perkins, General Manager, Zimbrick European. Imagine yourself behind the wheel of a Mercedes-Benz, Audi, or Porsche. More safety, performance, and luxury, and way more fun. And getting more costs less than you think. Zimbrick European makes leasing affordable. Discover the value for yourself. Stop in and test drive a Mercedes-Benz, Audi, or Porsche today. Visit Zimbrick European and find out why leasing the car of your dreams makes so much sense.
It's time to lock in your tee time at University Ridge Golf Course. Now taking reservations up to 90 days in advance for the 2023 golf season. Book at universityridge.com. Proud host of the American Family Insurance Championship, University Ridge is a course for everyone with tees ranging from 5,000 to 7,200 yards. Even if you don't have time to play, stop out and play on the free putting course or pay $20 to hit practice balls for an hour on our grass tee practice range. Play where the Badgers and the pros play in 2023.
Hi, I'm Sean Clary. When we started Clary Building Corp. in 1978, quality, craftsmanship, and customer service were just how you did business. Those values and traditions are even more important today. No matter how you utilize your Clary building, we design, engineer, and manufacture everything in-house so we can back up the promise to deliver the building you deserve. Your satisfaction is our #1 priority. Visit clarybuilding.com today. You'll be glad you did.
A new year, and maybe it's time for new equipment. If yes, Nevada Bob's is the place to go. Jeff and Max are the fittest fitters around, and they can set you up from driver to putter and everything in between. And anything else golf-related, wheel and deal with Joel.
Your game, your store, always at the best price.
Back with you on Talking Golf. Earlier today, I had a chance to visit a little one-on-one with Ryan Becker, the Director of Golf at TPC Wisconsin.
Travis Becker.
I'm Mike Heller. We will be joined by Paul Braun and Dennis Tiziani again in our final segment. But Travis, let's spend a little time this week talking about putting. So when we do this, we talked about it a little bit last week on the show. If you're playing a round of 18 holes, you probably hit your driver 13, maybe 14 times if you just bang away at the driver. But you're going to putt 29 to 34 to 35, some 36 times. So it doesn't take you long to figure out that the game is many times won and lost when you get around the green. So let's talk about putting today. And if you're starting on the putting concept, most people won't take a lesson when it comes to putting. They want you to work and fix their driver. But how can we help in the world of on the greens?
Sure. So statistically, putting is responsible for about 43% of your shots during the course of a round. And when someone comes in to help improve their putting or make more putts, we kind of go over some key factors. One is you got to kind of know how to read a green. So learning to look at the topography of the golf course, look for bluffs, look for water towers, look for ponds. The water's usually going to break towards the water, or the ball's going to break towards the water, or it's going to break away from that big hill. Learn to read the grain of the grass. That's important. Once you can see the line, that's your start. Then you have to learn how to aim your putter. So making sure that you're using your dominant eye from behind the ball, picking your line. Every putt's a straight putt until that ground makes it move. Then we get into proper setup, getting your grip in your palms, getting your eyes over the golf ball a little bit more, ball position slightly forward of center, and then it's making the stroke. So then once we make that stroke, it comes down to, can you start it on your line?
Sure.
And can you have the right speed control?
Where do we, I used to talk about this sometimes with others, talking about the importance. Everybody wants to read the line. Where does it break? How much does it break? And I would always caution them to say, yes, that's important, but your speed is still the most important. How do you equate speed to line?
I would say, again, that's different. Everybody has a little bit different feel. And when someone says it's going to break 2 inches, that could be correct for that person. But if someone hits it a little slower, it's going to break more, or a little faster, it's going to break less. But the biggest influence of that distance control, that speed, is your backswing length and your tempo. And, you know, with all the studies out there and research done on putting, it always takes about 1 second from the time you start moving your putter back to impact. So you change the backswing length, but you keep that time the same to control your speed.
When we're going through this, and let's talk about some of the programs you run out here, because as I mentioned off the top, a lot of folks will not call you for a putting lesson. Maybe upper echelon players will say, hey, I need help on the greens. But most people, they want the help with a long club in their hand, maybe some wedges, but typically it's trying to hit the driver. How can you help them? What programs do you put together for putting?
Sure. We, again, every person, we look at them and we customize that roadmap for them, but we try to incorporate putting with everybody just because it is such a large portion of the game. So if someone does a 5 series, we recommend at least one of those hours we put towards putting. And when they go through the appointment and you give them proper drills to work on, it actually gets fun, and they start to say, oh, there's more to putting than I thought.
Sure. And we were talking about it last week on the show with Dennis, and talking about, you know, putting up against a wall with the club going straight back and then straight through, and how that releases. Because you can get pretty technical in all elements of the swing, but how do you measure and how do you work to keep it so it's not too technical, so the learner doesn't go, well, I don't understand?
Sure. Tiz is my mentor, and learning from him and how he teaches putting, and how your shoulders get close to the line, your shoulders make the plane, and you're just trying to make them feel like they're a teeter-totter. So they're going back and forth, and again, trying to keep that blade as square to the line for as long as possible.
We're talking about Steve. And what has made Steve great is his short game, his wedge work, and what he does on the greens. I would argue this at long length with anybody who want to talk about what made Tiger great. And what made Tiger great, I think, is still the same thing that has made Steve great. It's what they do when they get close.
Yep. Typically, you look at the leaderboard, the person who has the fewest amount of putts or the most up and downs, they're usually at the top of the leaderboard at that level. They all hit the ball good. It's who can get it in the hole quickest.
We talk about the youth programs and this is a recurring theme when we're talking to you, Travis, on Talking Golf, is the youth programs. From a youth standpoint, how good, you know, is this program and in putting to make them better? How much does that benefit the young players?
It's huge, because if you do go to youth tournaments, PGA junior tournaments, you'll see a lot of shots are given up around the greens. So to teach them a foundation and a process and what they need to work on, you'll see their scores start to come down quickly.
You mentioned fitting. Most people would think of fitting, you're fitting me for my irons, right? Because you can bend and flex and do different things, different shafts. What about fitting for a putter? What are the variables involved?
Yeah, great question. So we start with head design and hosel design. So there's a thing out there called toe hang putters where you can get 25 degrees, 50, 75, 90. You can get face balance putters. So that's all on the type of path that student makes and how they square up the club face at impact. The head shapes will also promote, if a square putter head will promote you to aim more to the left. A round putter head will promote you to aim more to the right. So we start by getting that head design to match the stroke tendencies. And then we still fit length to promote a proper setup, getting your eyes over the ball. We fit lie angle to help with aim. We fit loft to help roll the ball. We fit grip size if we need to take hands out of the stroke, or a little smaller for more feel. So there's a lot that goes into the putter fitting.
Last little touch here. Let's talk about grip. Steve went to a different grip. We've seen the grips change. They used to have the long anchor putters. Now the grips, the oversized grips, how does that impact what you're doing with your putter?
It's so the bigger the grip, typically supposed to take the hands out of it a little bit. The smaller the grip, the more feel you have. So there is a lot of preference to it. But again, everybody's stroke is so different until you actually start testing the different grips with your stroke and what you as the golfer like the feel of, then you can make that decision.
Travis, let's tell people where they can go to find out more about the instruction programs here at TPC.
I would say the best way is just write to our website at www.tpcwisconsin.com and click on the Golf Academy, and you could submit your name and whatever information you're looking for, and we'll reach back out to you.
That's Travis Becker, the director of golf here at TPC Wisconsin. We'll be back with you next Monday night for an all-new episode of Talking Golf at TPC Wisconsin.